So I recently had this opportunity in the syndicate where it wasn't the most creative of a music licensing opportunity, but it did pay a pretty decent upfront sync fee. And I had a few syndicate members that contributed some great tracks for it, and we nailed it. And we obviously got the gig nailed, and I'm very happy that some of my members actually took me up on the offer, and they took this pretty easy money basically for maybe half a day's worth of work. I mean, I think a lot of them nailed it in a couple of hours. But there were a lot of members who just said, not really interested. I want to do something a little bit more creative. I'm not feeling that. That's not really my sort of thing. I want to do what I want to do. This is kind of something that I want everybody who's getting started in this business to realize, that not every licensing opportunity that you're going to get past is going to be the dream job of your career, right? Where they're going to throw you $10,000 to do the music that you love to make. Like, let's say you're like a EDM producer and they're like, hey, can you just make a EDM track that you love? And we're going to give you $10,000 for that. Plus you're back in, like, you're going to get those once every so often. A couple of years, maybe you're going to get a big, awesome gig like that. Hopefully more. But those things don't come in that often. You know what the most kind of common placement or opportunity is, hey, can you make a track that sounds like this other guy's track? We don't want to pay that other guy $10,000 to use it, but we'll pay you a couple of grand to do it. It's going to be a minute long, and maybe there's no back-end royalties on it, or maybe we're going to cut down the back-end royalties a little bit, or we're going to cut you some of this. And can you please knock this out? Or even it's going to be less. Maybe it's only like, we can only give you $500 for this track, or whatever the upfront fee is. Now, if you're brand new into this business and you're kind of sitting there going like, well, I don't think so. I'm not really feeling that. Like, that's just not enough money, and I don't want to make music like somebody else's, and I don't know. That just kind of feels like I'm going to be not really creative on this, and I don't know. No thanks. I'm just going to pass. Well, guess who's going to take that job? Somebody more hungry than you. Somebody who actually wants to do this full time, right? That's who's going to take a job like that from you. Now, if your client is constantly putting out custom queue requests or library requests, whatever they're doing, and you're the one that always goes, no thanks, I'm not really feeling that, hit me up when you got a better budget, I don't think, the budget's just not meeting my needs, I don't think so. You're the one that keeps passing up on things. Who do you think they're going to go to when that $10,000 upfront custom queue comes through the door? Are they going to go to you, the person that's always been passing on things and going, I don't really feel like it, not really? No. Who are they going to go to? They're going to go to that hungry producer who's always said, yes, sir, I'll take that, no problem. That's great, I'll do that, I'm here to work. What do you need? Cool, I'll take care of that, no problem. Oh, you want me to do this? You want me to create like another version of this song that's kind of similar to that composer? I know, it's not the most creative thing, and I'm kind of making music that sounds like somebody else, but hey, I'm here to work. What do you need? That attitude is what's going to win, right? Because that's the person that a library is going to want to keep passing music off to over and over again. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had to do custom cues or custom jobs that I wasn't really feeling. I mean, I'd find a way to be like, hey, this is kind of cool. It's going to be on a TV commercial, so that's kind of exciting. But the music, not that excited about it. The reference cue that I was given, not really that into that either. And I have to just make music that sounds like somebody else's. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but you learn, right? Every time that you're making music that sounds like somebody else's track, you're learning how that person composed the track. So at the end of the gig, you're a much more polished and well-rehearsed producer, because now you have even another style of music that you're really well equipped to produce now without having to have a reference track. So that actually might open up opportunities for you creating your own catalog down the road. So that's why this business, and I've said this so many times, that it's not for all producers. There's a lot of producers and artists out there that just can't do that. Like, they just can't get out of their own way to realize that you don't always get to work on everything that you love to work on in the world, in life, right? Unless you are the Beatles or Michael Jackson or somebody huge who can just make music however you want to, and you've already got millions and millions of fans that'll basically follow you to the ends of the earth, and they don't care what you're putting out, they just want to hear what you have to say. Unless you're in one of those really great positions in the music business, you got to serve somebody. Somebody needs to hear music, and they want music that maybe you can compose, and it might not be the exact thing that you want to do. But you really need to check yourself, right? Especially if you're new into this business, that you got to pay your dues, right? There's got to be a time where you go, listen, I'm not, some A-list major film composer right now who can just kind of pick and choose what projects I want to work on. you got to grab every single gig that possibly comes across your desk and hold on to it with both hands and say, all right, if I can make this work and I can see how this can turn into more work in the future, that's what you should always be thinking about when somebody offers you a gig. What could this do for me in the future? This might not be the most exciting whatever gig, I don't know, but working with this company, yeah, I think I could actually make a lot more money with them down the road if I satisfy some of these boring, not so sexy opportunities that they give to me, okay? So you got to pay your dues. If you're brand new into this business, just keep that humble, hungry attitude. It's basically he who is hungriest or she who is hungriest in this industry will win in the long run. The only way that I've had my long-term relationships in this business is because I'm always the one that 9 times out of 10, maybe 99%, has always said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Send it to me. No problem. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm always the one. I will do it. I will take care of it. So that when the big, awesome, juicy projects come along, they know that Jesse's their guy. They know that I'm the one that will knock it out for them because I've been knocking out the less exciting opportunities for them all along. So something to consider. If you're not too far into this business yet, that will be required of you if you want to do this full time. If you just want to do this part time and just whenever a great opportunity comes your way, sure, just say no to things. Just like, if you're not feeling the terms or you don't want to do that kind of music or whatever, just say no thanks. But just know that's what an amateur does. That's what somebody who does this part time will do, is they get to pick and choose what they're interested in, what they're feeling and that kind of thing. The professional puts his ego professional or his personal preferences and what he would rather be doing aside and goes, I want to do music full time. If this is what it takes to do music full time, I'm going to find a way to enjoy this by learning how to produce this way or being excited that this is going to be on TV or, in a movie or whatever it is. You got to find a way to enjoy it, right? And then fulfill the needs of these less exciting opportunities so that when those big fat cash cow gigs come through your door and come through your client's door, you're the only phone number they're going to be calling.